All right, so now this is just us living up to our end of the agreement with the City of Vancouver and the Parks Board of Vancouver staff that we met with the other day. And the agreement was that I get 2 full days of peaceful packing and then as good faith to show that I was actually leaving. With an intention of being able to come back a third day to finish up packing our camp and my belongings, that I would leave at 11:59 and come back from 9 till 6 the following day. And people have left and accepted a lot of half-truths or untruths or lies, as some would put it, like myself. But there weren't enough indoor spaces, let alone any housing options that were available on April 30th. So the province broke their own deadline and yet kind of, I think, pressured Vancouver and the Parks Board to ensure that people were evicted through a general manager's order that is going against their memorandum of understanding that people would not be forced off of the only legal place to shelter in Canada until there were adequate housing for people to go to. And in this case, not only is there not enough indoor spaces, which are just temporary spaces between a few SROs and 2 hotels and the Plaza First Nations, but nothing that the Vancouver had offered at first, which was a hostel in Jericho Beach that the city owns, the 2400 Kingsway, as well as 875 Terminal and the old Army and Navy that were to have 60 shelter pods each. And they only had 2 hotels open, as well as just the Plaza First Nations with shelter pods. And in a time when COVID is preventing from violent criminals to be kept in jail, as well as the fact that in hospitals people are not allowed to go and visit dying, let alone sick relatives, to bring them comfort. Homeless people are being forced indoors against the Chief Medical Health Officer's recommendation of no decampment during COVID. So we call for an immediate public health order preventing decampment during this COVID and fentanyl crisis, because people addicted are told not to use alone, and then homeless people, Indigenous and Canadian, are being sentenced indefinitely to segregation through COVID. And if you were in jail in Canada, it on the book says that anything after 21 days is cruel and unusual punishment, and they should not do it. We know they do, but at least on their books, in their own laws, they say they shouldn't. And we know that all levels of government say one thing and do complete opposite. So just because they behave badly and lie doesn't mean that we need to, so I will live up to my words. I had a few more days, not 2 full peaceful days of packing. I got in 1 out of 4, not bad. And we made an agreement 2 days ago that I would leave tonight and come back in the morning and finish packing. So we're leaving security here. We agreed that the fire would stay till I left tomorrow, and then we would leave peacefully. And so hopefully they let me back in the morning, because I've lived up to my word. And I hope sooner than later that this government lives up to theirs and we don't have to create encampments, and they can live up to their memorandum of understanding. I'm not sure how many exact homes would be needed, but until then we ask all levels of government or any funder from private organizations, groups, or individuals to donate land, put into land trust with parks and another land trust group where people could shelter in place 24 hours a day, create community like this until such time as there's housing for everyone in Canada. And at that time, that donated land or government land could then be decided by all parties what to do with. So I'd suggest something healing or something that honors stewardship of our land or food sovereignty, but those are just my suggestions. And I don't think there'll be housing for everyone in Canada or our First Nations territories that are unceded on Turtle Island in what some consider as Canada in my lifetime. I hope it happens in my kids' lifetime or my grandkids' lifetime, but that remains to be seen. So thanks for supporting and watching, and our prayers go up to a day that there's housing for everyone and homeless people aren't stereotyped, criminalized, and carded by police who a lot of choose to be bags of dicks or act like bags of dicks by their commanders, and it's a choice. People can do their jobs with humanity, and our allies have proved it time and again that there are people who care and who can do their job with a bit of humanity and dignity and honesty and caring, and they're only one little part of a giant machine. So it takes a while, but hopefully we'll get it right one of these days, and people won't be criminalized or lied about by government when all they want to do is hold up people who are more vulnerable than them, and like Indigenous cultures, ensure that they're a country that leaves nobody behind. Until then, Indigenous people and community members from all nations and all over the world have donated so that we could hold the people up as long as we have. So our real thanks and hands up to those who've donated their time, their money, their clothing, water, PPE, and their expertise in fields of counseling and nursing and acupuncture and laundry and all of the things that I'm forgetting. It's been a long couple of weeks, so I don't intend on missing anyone. And I guess lastly, which should have gone first, is just acknowledging that we're very grateful to the host nations, the Tsleil-Waututh, the Musqueam and Squamish, whose territory we've been doing all of this work on, and who we have been supporting in feeding some of their members. And we hope that we can all work together until there's a day that nobody has to be helped as much as some here. So thank you and for documenting this and really in a modern way telling our stories and witnessing all this work to be done, because I think this story will need to be told over and over until there's housing for everyone. So thank you. And then oh, is that the only way in? Oh, okay. And this way. They keep changing it on you.
I know.